Hello guys, I am Harun and this is your YouTube channel Harun Biozone. Today in this video I will discuss 34 very important MCQ questions from the chapter Photosynthesis. Okay, so don't be late, let's start this question. First, which one of the following, which one of the following equation suggests that oxygen released during photosynthesis comes from water? So this oxygen released during photosynthesis, oxygen produced from water. This is proved by Van Ruben and Kamen. This is proved by Ruben and Kamen. They use radioactive O18. Okay, when they radio labeled the oxygen of the carbon dioxide, they oxygen of carbon dioxide, they show that this oxygen is found in C6H12O6. This oxygen is radioisotopes and so normal oxygen is produced. But when they radio labeled the water oxygen CO2 and 12H2O18, then they found that this carbohydrate oxygen remain normal, but this radio level oxygen is found in oxygen. So here the carbon dioxide is found in sugar and this oxygen is found in oxygen. So they decide the oxygen produced from H2O. Okay, so here the correct option is D. They radio labeled oxygen of H2O and these oxygen are found in the product oxygen. Okay, clear. So here is the right option is D. Next question. Study the following statement regarding chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is the primary photosynthetic pigment. Okay, the molecular formula of chlorophyll A is C55H72O5N4Mg. It is the primary photosynthetic pigment. Number 3 option, in pure state it is red in color and thus it absorbs more blue wavelength of light than the red wavelength. Number 4, it is soluble in water as well as petroleum ether. So here the nature of chlorophyll A. Firstly, explain that this is the chemical formula of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll constitute two things. There is porphyrin head, porphyrin ring, and this is phytol tail, hydrocarbon tail. Okay, this tail is hydrophobic in nature, but this tail is hydrophilic. And the number 3, where 1 magnesium is present, 4 nitrogen is present, and this 4 pyron ring. In this 4 pyron, the number 3 rings contain methyl group in chlorophyll A. But in the same place in chlorophyll B, there are carboxyl group are present. Clear? The main difference between chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, chlorophyll A contain C55H72 N4O5 Mg. But in chlorophyll B, they contain C55H72 H70 N4O6 Mg. Here one oxygen group is more in chlorophyll B. So here the correct right option is molecular formula of chlorophyll A is C55H72O5N4 and Mg. Number 2, it is the primary photosynthetic begun. This is also right. In pure state, it is red in color and thus it absorbs more blue wavelength of light. Not this is blue wavelength of light than the red wavelength. Now chlorophyll is not red in color. Okay, this is false option. It is soluble in water as well as petroleum ether. Not chlorophyll A is soluble in methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol. Clear? So here the right option is 1 and 2. So incorrect option 3 and 4. This is the option. Incorrect option. Next question is the Z scheme of photophosphorylation. The Z scheme of photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation means in the presence of light produce ATP. In the presence of light produce ATP is called photophosphorylation. The following sequence in photosynthesis Z scheme pathway, the following sequence are occur. So in this gap portion, what type of energy state are present in Z scheme pathway? So here the question is explained such as this is the photosystem 2. This is photosystem 2 and he absorbs 680 nanometer of wavelength of light. Okay. Then this is the low energy state. This is low energy state. But when this is the excited is the high energy state. High energy state. Energy state. So this is called uphill. Low to high energy state is called uphill movement, and high to low movement is called low energy state movement is called downhill. So here photosystem 2 to electron acceptor, the photosystem 2, this one, and electron acceptor, this one, these are uphill state. So uphill. Then electron acceptor via electron transport system to PS1. This is electron transport system. This electron acceptor to PS1 is downhill pathway, and then again PS1 to electron acceptor, then PS1 to again electron acceptor is uphill movement, low energy state to high energy state. Then again this from this electron acceptor to NADPH is low or downhill step. So here is uphill, then downhill, then again uphill, and then again downhill. So correct option of this question is A. Next question. Identify the part marked as A, B and C. Mark as A, B and C. See in the given figure showing ATP synthesis, that is chemiosmotic hypothesis. ATP synthesis process is called chemiosmotic hypothesis. This is the thylakoid membrane. Okay, in the thylakoid membrane, photosystem 2, photosystem 1, electron carrier cytochrome B6 complex and the ATP synthase are present, and inside the thylakoid membrane is called lumen. This portion is called lumen and this is called stroma. Clear? So here A option is thylakoid lumen and B option is F0 complex, CF0 cytochrome, CF0 complex, and this one CF1 complex, and this complex is called ATP synthase. ATP synthase. Here the proton is transport from low proton concentration gradient to the high proton concentration gradient to low proton concentration gradient, and the by passing of 3 proton, one AD plus phosphate produce 1 ATP. Clear? ATP bond with phosphate and produce 1 ATP by transporting 3 proton. So here the correct option is A. The next question, in the given representation of Kelvin cycle, identify A, B and C. Identify A, B and C. So here A, B and C. So first, the A is the carbon dioxide acceptor. Let me explain this question with diagram, proper diagram. This one, the diagram of Kelvin cycle. So here the A option is ribulose bisphosphate, ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, ribulose 1,5, ribulose RUBP, ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, 5 carbon containing and here one carbon is and produce two molecule of 3PGA, means 3 carbon containing compound. Okay, this 3PGA by reduction division produce 2 carbon containing 3PGALD, 3 carbon containing phosphoglyceraldehyde, PGL triphosphate. This is B is the correct option. Here the RUBP. Okay, RUBP is a 5 carbon containing compound. Clear? 1,5 ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate. Okay, when they absorb CO2, here produce 6 molecule of phosphoglyceric acid. Here 5 carbon and 1 carbon produce 6 carbon. Clear? The next option is, next question is, read the given statement and select the correct option. Statement: carboxylation is the most, carboxylation means absorb of carbon dioxide in the presence of Rubisco enzyme. In the presence of Rubisco enzyme during Kelvin cycle, this is called carboxylation. Fixation of carbon dioxide. This is fixation of carbon dioxide. Is the most crucial step of Kelvin cycle, where by Rubisco enzyme. Step of Kelvin cycle where CO2 is utilized, for the carboxylation of RUBP. Okay, clear? And carboxylation is catalyzed by the enzyme Rubisco, which results in the formation of 2 molecules of 3PGA. Okay, the ribulose RUBP, ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, 5 carbon containing, and they absorb CO2 in the presence of Rubisco to produce 2 carbon containing 2 molecule of 3 carbon containing phosphoglyceric acid. This is the first stable product of Kelvin cycle, so it is called C3 cycle. Clear? So here both the option, here both statement 1 and 2 is correct. Next question, match the column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option from the given codes. Column 1 and column 2. Column 1, C4 plant. C4 plant shows crunch anatomy. Okay, crunch anatomy, where the vascular bundle is surrounded by a bundled sheath cell. Chlorophyll B is the accessory photosynthetic pigment, because chlorophyll A is primary photosynthetic pigment, chlorophyll B, carotenoid, xanthophyll, etc. are accessory photosynthetic pigment. PS2, where photooxidation of S2 occur. This is called photolysis of water, or discovered by Robin Hill, so called Hill reaction. And crassulacean acid metabolism is succulent plant. Okay, succulent plant like cactus, bryophyllum, succulent plant example, phylum. Okay, so here the correct option is A. Next question is, match the following and choose the correct combination from the given option. First, column 1 and column 2, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-ray and infrared light. This is the wavelength of these lights. So let me explain this question with proper diagram. Here the wavelength of light. So here wavelength from 0.001 nanometer to 100 meter wavelength of light. So visible light remain between 400. Visible light means the light we observe, okay, 400 to 700 nanometer. This is called PAR, photosynthetically active region of light. PAR, photosynthetically active region of light. This is called visible light, where this is the, so visible light is lies between 400 to 700 nanometer. Clear? Then ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light is 10 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, or 100 to 400 nanometer is called ultraviolet light wavelength. And the X-ray, X-ray here you say 0.01 nanometer to 10 nanometer, or this is the 0.1 to 1 nanometer is called X-ray light. And infrared light is longer than 7. This is infrared, or 400. After the 700 nanometer up to 1000, 0.01 centimeter, 0.01 centimeter, this is called infrared light. This is ultraviolet, this is X-ray, this is gamma ray. Here this is the wavelength of light. So this wavelength, difference of wavelength is more. The more wavelength means less energy. You can remember, more wavelength means less energy. Clear? So here the correct option is D, A2, B4, X-ray 1 and D3. Next question is, which of the following pair is wrong? The first one, C3 plant. The maize is a C4 plant. C3 plant is like mango, rice, etc. C4 plant show crunch anatomy. This is right. Kelvin cycle, first stable product to phosphoglyceric acid. Hatch and slack pathway, they also called C4 pathway. The first product is 4 carbon containing oxaloacetic acid, so called C4 pathway. Here C3 pathway, because 3 carbon containing phosphoglyceric acid is the first stable product. So here the wrong answer is A. Next question, match the following and choose the option with correct combination of element. Correct combination of element. Carboxylation. Carboxylation means fixation of CO2 in the presence of Rubisco enzyme. And in case of C4 plant, Rubisco and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. Okay, the carboxylase means Rubisco enzyme. Phosphorylation. Phospho means phosphate group. Lysine means attach, addition of phosphate to ADP is called phosphorylation. The phosphorylation means synthesis of ATP. Photolysis of water means in the presence of sunlight, the water break down and produce electron and oxygen in pH 2 of photosystem. Photolysis of water is oxygen evolution. How? Here H2O in the presence of light break down H plus and OH minus are produced, plus electron is produced. Okay, these 4 OH minus again break down into 2H2O plus O2. This O2 is released in the pH2 of photosynthesis. Phosphoglycolate. Phosphoglycolate is the product during the photorespiration. So here the correct option is A3, B4, C1, D2. This is B is the correct option. Next question is, match the number of carbon atoms given in list 1 with that of compound given in list 2 and select the correct option. 4 carbon compound, 2 carbon compound, 5 carbon compound and 3 carbon compound. Let me explain this question with proper diagram. First, here alpha ketoglutaric acid. In alpha ketoglutaric acid, number of carbon is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, alpha ketoglutaric is 5 carbon compound. In case of pyruvate, there are 1, 2 and 3. So, 3 carbon compound is pyruvic acid. Pyruvate. Acetyl-CoA is 2 carbon compound, 1 and 2, that is 2 carbon compound. And this malic acid is 1, 2 and 1. Malic acid is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon compound, which is malic acid. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon compound is citric acid. Clear? So, here the 4 carbon compound is malic acid. This is A is 5. A is 5. A is 5. 2 carbon compound is acetyl coenzyme A 1. 5 carbon compound is alpha ketoglutarate and citric acid. The 5 carbon compound is alpha ketoglutarate C4 and 3 carbon compound is pyruvate. And citric acid is 6 carbon containing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 6 carbon containing, okay, 6 carbon containing. So, here the right option is B. Next question is, which of the following statement are not true? 1 ATP molecule yields 32 kilojoule of energy, because 1 ATP molecule produce near about 30.34 kilojoule per mole. Pentose phosphate pathway or hexose monophosphate shunt. Okay, this is called hexose monophosphate shunt, is discovered by Dickens 1938 and Warburg 1953 and Warburg 1953. When tripalmitin is used as a substrate, the RQ is 7.0. So, let me explain. 2 C51 H98 O6 plus 145 O2, then 102 CO2 plus 98 H2O plus energy. So, here the RQ value is release of amount of CO2 release, amount of CO2 release and amount of oxygen accept. So, here the value is 102 by 145, that is 0.7. Okay, this is the correct right answer, right option. Energy released by one molecule of glucose on complete oxidation corresponds to 1292 kilojoule, not 1292 kilojoule, because if you see C6H12O6 complete oxidation, okay, in the presence of 6O2, so produce 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 686 kilocalorie of energy. This is the complete oxidation of glucose. 686 kilojoule means 2900 kilocalorie. 686 kilocalorie means 2900 kilojoule. Clear? So, complete oxidation of one molecule glucose produce 2900 kilojoule. So here the correct option is B and C. So here A and D is the wrong answer. Not correct option is A and D. C is. Next question, some anaerobic photosynthetic bacteria, anaerobic means in the absence of oxygen, photosynthetic bacteria, that is called sulfur bacteria. Sulfur bacteria use other hydrogen donor like H2S. In case of plant, they use H2O as a hydrogen electron donor, but in case of photosynthetic sulfur bacteria, they use H2S, hydrogen sulfide, in place of H2O instead of water, because they cannot tolerate oxygen. Because in the presence of oxygen, their oxidation reaction is produced. Oxidation reaction occur. Okay, during oxidation reaction produce some toxic element like hydrogen peroxide or oxygen singlet, that is O minus. Both are highly toxic. But in case of aerobic organism, there is one enzyme present, that is called peroxidase. This peroxidase break down H2O2 into H2O plus O2. But in case of bacteria, peroxidase is absent. So this H2O2 become poisonous to them. So they do not, the oxygen is toxic for them. Next question is, according to the chemiosmotic hypothesis, Peter Michelli proposed this. ATP synthesis require H plus gradient across the membrane. A is the correct option. Let me explain with proper diagram. This is the thylakoid membrane. So in such case, the photolysis of water occur in pH2. Okay, during photosynthesis. So this proton is deposited in the lumen of the thylakoid, and also here plastoquinone reduced into plastoquinol and produce proton. This proton is entered into the lumen through cytochrome B6F complex. Clear? This, so in the lumen portion, the concentration of proton is increased. Okay, when this concentration is increased, the proton is transferred from high proton gradient to low proton gradient through ATP synthase, the CF0 complex and CF1 complex, and transfer of 3 proton. One ADP bind with phosphate and produce one ATP molecule. This is called chemiosmotic hypothesis. So here the proton gradient across the membrane is the correct answer. Next question, which of the following are incorrect? Okay, Van Nel showed that photosynthetic bacteria fixed CO2 in the presence of H2S. In 1903, during 1903, Van Nel proved that substrate like for H2S in place of H2O in sulfur bacteria used as the source of electron. Okay, Melvin Calvin discovered C4 pathway, not Melvin Calvin discovered C3 pathway or Kelvin's cycle. This is wrong answer. Park and Begins discover quantism. Begins discovered quantism. Quantism is a unit of photosynthesis where 250 chlorophyll remain attached and produce one single unit that help in photosynthesis or absorb light. Emerson and Arnold used radioactive oxygen, 18 oxygen, and proved oxygen evolved part of water. Not. This experiment is done by Rubin and Kamen. Rubin and Kamen. Rubin and Kamen. Kamen. So here this one 2 and 4 is the incorrect option. Next question is match the following columns. So column 1 and column 2. Peter Michelli proposed the chemi-osmotic hypothesis, that is photophosphorylation process. Chemi-osmotic hypothesis. Blackman proposed law of limiting factor. Okay, and Daniel Arnon discovered dark reaction of photosynthesis. Daniel Arnon photosynthetic phosphorylation, or this is called photophosphorylation. Phosphorylation. This is proposed by Daniel Arnon. Melvin Kelvin is dark reaction of photosynthesis discovered. So correct option is A4, B1, C3 and D2. This is the correct option. Next question is direction assertion. The atmospheric concentration of CO2 at which photosynthesis just compensate for respiration is referred to as CO2 compensation point. The CO2 compensation point is reached when the amount of CO2 uptake is less than that generated through respiration, because the level of CO2 in the atmosphere is more than that required for achieving CO2 compensation point. So let me explain this topic. First, this is the compensation point. Compensation point means in this point the absorption of CO2 and release of CO2 is equal. The CO2 absorbed during photosynthesis and CO2 release during respiration. So when the CO2 released during respiration is increased, then uptake of CO2 during photosynthesis, these balances occur. Okay, suppose in this case uptake of CO2 increase. The uptake of CO2 increase means when CO2 increase uptake during time of respiration. At that time of respiration, the net gain in glucose, the rate of photosynthesis exceeds the rate of respiration. When more CO2 is absorbed, from atmosphere, that means more photosynthesis occur than respiration. Again, uptake of CO2 decrease. That means during respiration, the CO2 is released, not uptake. So here respiration rate is high. The net loss in glucose used in respiration is faster than glucose produced in photosynthesis. So the two term is balanced in the compensation point, where the O2 and CO2 are become balances. So here the A and B option, both option is correct, and reason is the correctly explain the assertion. So here correct option is A. A is the correct option. Assertion: cyclic pathway of photosynthesis first appeared in some eubacterial species. Definitely the first living organism is eubacteria. Okay, so eubacteria like blue-green algae, like BGA, the first photosynthesis appear in eubacteria like blue-green algae. Reason: oxygen start accumulating in the atmosphere after non-cyclic pathway, because during non-cyclic pathway the photolysis occur in pH2. So in pH2 photolysis occur, the H2O break down to produce oxygen, but in cyclic photophosphorylation there is no oxygen is produced. So oxygen accumulate in the atmosphere by the non-cyclic pathway of photosynthesis. So here the both A and B option is correct. So both assertion reason true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion, that is B is correct option. Red light of visible spectrum contain high energy. The red light means 700, near about 700 nanometer, 680 to 700 nanometer, okay, and green light near about 480 nanometer. The more wavelength means less energy. So here red light is visible content high, not high energy, this is low energy, and green light of visible spectrum contain low energy, not high energy. Clear? Low wavelength means high energy. So the option with both assertion and region are false. Both assertion and regions are false, that is D is the correct option. Next, in Cranch anatomy, the bundles in the bundle sheath cells have thin wall, no intercellular space and several chloroplasts. Thick wall, many intercellular space and few chloroplasts. Thin walls, many intercellular space and no chloroplast. Thick walls, no intercellular space and large number of chloroplasts. In C4 plants are photosynthetically more active than C3 plant. So more active means here thick wall present, thick bundle sheath. Bundle sheath means the covering of bundles, vascular bundle. This is the vascular bundle, and out this is called bundle sheath cell. Okay, this is mesophilic cell, and this is vascular bundle sheath cell. This is bundle sheath. This is bundle sheath cell. Clear? This is bundle sheath cell. This bundle sheath cell are thick wall. Okay, and no intercellular space. There is no space, no intercellular space in present between this bundle sheath cell, and large number of chloroplasts. Large number of chloroplasts, so they produce more photosynthesis, photosynthetically more active. So here the correct option is D, because Cranch anatomy is special features of C4 plant that make them more photosynthetically active plants than C3. Okay, match the column and find out the correct combination. Rubisco. Rubisco is the most found enzyme in this earth. Okay, this enzyme has bifunctional effect, that is Rubisco, ribulose, bisphosphate, carboxylase and oxygenase. Carboxylase and oxygenase. So they absorb both carbon dioxide and oxygen also. Here, in case of C3 plant or C4 plant, they absorb carboxylation occur by Rubisco. The Rubisco is C3 cycle. C3 cycle, and PEP carboxylase, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase, is a special enzyme only for C3 plant that inhibit the oxygen efficiency of Rubisco. This is found in C4 plant. PS2 absorb 600 nanometer of wavelength light. PS1 absorbs 700 nanometer of wavelength. Carotenoid is the accessory pigment, photosynthetic pigment. So here A is 3, A3, and B is 4 cycle, B4, B5, C4, C means PS2 absorption 600 nanometer wavelength of light, carotenoid accessory pigment, and E2 that is PS1 is absorb 700 nanometer of light, that is D is the correct option. Next question, which of these contribution to Dutrochet to plant physiology? Dutrochet, that is Dutrochet, he explained, Dutrochet means on plant biologist. He explained the mass flow mechanism of translocation of solutes. He identified that chlorophyll has an important role in photosynthesis. He explained the active absorption mechanism of minerals in plants. He identified the regularity mechanism for stomatal in scotoactive plant movement. Scotoactive plant movement means first, Dutrojet is a plant biologist who explained the mass flow mechanism of transfer solute during mass flow hypothesis, where the food and water minerals flow food are transferred from leaf to whole body of the plant. This is called mass flow hypothesis. Okay, from source to sink region. This is proposed by Ernst Munch. Okay, he identified that chlorophyll has an important role in photosynthesis. This is Dutrojet. Dutrojet says that chlorophyll is the important part of photosynthesis. He explained the active absorption. This is the right option. He explained the active absorption mechanism of minerals. Here represent that the plant absorb minerals from soil by proton gradient cytochrome pump theory. This is called Landergaard, proposed by Landergaard, Gardth, Garth, and Barston, 1933. Landergaard and Barston, 1933, called Landerberg cytochrome pump theory. Landergaard cytochrome pump theory. Okay, Landergaard and Barston 1933 proposed the process of absorption of minerals by plant from the soil. Identify the regularity mechanism of stomatal movement. Scotoactive movement. Scotoactive movement means the stomata open during night and close during day. This type of mechanism is called scotoactive movement of stomata, found in cam plant. Example of cam plant is bryophyllum and cactus. So here the correct option that Dutrojet explained that photosynthesis chlorophyll has an important role in photosynthesis. B is the correct option. Next question, match the column and find out the correct combination. The ATP is the energy currency of cellular energy currency. Rubisco is a huge enzyme complex that brings CO2 and 5 carbon sugar together, means RUB, ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase, ribulose phosphate here, and Rubisco absorbs CO2 and produce 2 molecule of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Okay, and ribulose bisphosphate 5 carbon sugar that fixes CO2 in the Kelvin cycle. The 5 carbon sugar. The glucose is a product of photosynthesis, and 3-phosphoglyceric acid is the 3 carbon sugar. So here A is the correct option. A4, B1, C5, and D glucose product photosynthesis 2, and E is the 3-phosphoglyceric acid, a 3 carbon sugar that gives the nickname of Kelvin cycle, because 3 carbon sugar, it is called C3 cycle. Next question is oxygen evolving photolysis of water. Okay, that is occur in PS2, wavelength of light 600 nanometer. Proton gradient means ATP synthesis complex. Proton gradient complex. This is a thylakoid lumen. Okay, here by photolysis of produce proton. This proton is released ATP synthesis and produce ATP plus phosphate to ATP. This is called high ATP synthesis complex photorespiration. Photorespiration means high oxygen content. Rubisco is an enzyme. That enzyme has two effects, carboxylase effect and oxygenase effect. When the concentration of oxygen is available in the atmosphere, it shows oxygenase effect, oxygenase. And when CO2 level is high, it shows carboxylase effect, carboxylase effect. Okay, and due to oxygenase effect, so photorespiration, respiration, and by carboxylase effect, so that is Kelvin cycle. Okay, the high oxygen concentration, axial and marginal. C and D is the 3 option, Cranch anatomy. Clear? So here the correct option is C. Next question is, part of the structure function is stroma. Stroma found in the matrix, CO2 reduction. Lumen, inner cavity of the thylakoid, photolysis of water occur. A and B right. Grana, stalk of thylakoid thick, regeneration of RBP not. This is stroma region. Thylakoid, sac-like structure, dark phase, not in thylakoid, light phase occur. Dark phase occur in stroma region. Dark phase of photosynthesis. So here the right option is A and B is the correct combination. Correct combination, A and B. Next question is, incorrect statement is except for plant in shade or dense forest, light is a limiting factor for photosynthesis. Definitely light is a limiting factor for photosynthesis, but because high light intensity cause photooxidative damage of photosynthetic pigment. But in case of shade or dense forest, light is not limiting factor. Internal factor of photosynthesis and respiration are dependent on the genetic predisposition and the growth of the plant. Okay, at any point the rate of process is determined by the factor available at suboptimum level. Clear? The C3 plant shows saturation about 360 ppm CO2, while C4 responds to increased CO2 concentration and saturation is seen only 450 ppm. Thus, it is reverse. C3 plant shows 450, saturation point of C3 plant is 450 ppm parts per million, but C4 plant is 360 parts per million. So here the incorrect option is D. Rest of the options are correct. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Incorrect. In C4 plant, the site of Rubisco activity is mesophyll cell, not mesophyll cell, because it is bundle sheath cell. Bundle sheath. Clear? The substrate molecule for Rubisco activity is 5-carbon. Definitely ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, RBP. Ribulose bisphosphate is the BP is the substrate of Rubisco. Rubisco action require ATP and NADPH is right. Rubisco is a bifunctional enzyme because it has oxygenase and carboxylase activity. Carboxylase less activity. Clear? So here the incorrect option is A. Next question is, which of the following statement is incorrect? Stroma lamellae have pH 1 and lack NADP. Okay, the stroma lamellae lack pH 2 and lack NADP. Reductase, stoma lamellae. Grana lamellae have both PS1 and PS2. Cyclic photophosphorylation involve both PS1 and PS2. This is the incorrect option. Both ATP and NADPH are synthesized during non-cyclic. This is the right option. This is right and this is right. The incorrect option is C. Next question is, this is the thylakoid membrane. Okay, this is thylakoid lumen, where the proton gradient is transferred from high concentration gradient to low concentration gradient and produce ATP molecule. Here NADP, stroma lamellae. This is stroma lamellae. This is outside is stroma lamellae. The stroma lamellae have PS1. Here PS1 present but not PS2. Okay, PS2 is lack of PS2 and NADP reductase. That means outer membrane of the outer thylakoid membrane. Grana lamellae have both PS1 and PS2. Grana lamellae has both PS1 and PS2. Cyclic photophosphorylation involve both PS1 and PS2. Not cyclic means P700, then again return. So PS2 is not present in cyclic photophosphorylation, but PS1 is present. Next question. With reference to factor affecting the rate of photosynthesis, which of the following is not correct? The factor that affect rate of photosynthesis. Increasing atmosphere CO2 concentration up to 0.05% can enhance CO2 fixation rate. Not affect. C3 plants respond to higher temperature with enhanced photosynthesis, while C4 plants have much lower. Not. C4 plants show more photosynthesis than C3 plant at high temperature condition. Tomato is a greenhouse crop which can be grown in CO2 enriched atmosphere for higher yield. Right option. Light saturation of CO2 fixation at 10% of full sunlight. So all are right, but B is the incorrect option. Water vapor comes out from the plant leaf through the stomatal opening. Through stomata, the water released in the condition of vapor. Through the same stomatal opening, carbon dioxide diffuse. Okay, the same stomatal opening, that water are diffused as vapor, and also carbon dioxide diffuse or gas and water transport occur simultaneously in the stomatal region. Reason out the average statement using one following option. Water release or transpiration rate is higher in daytime but lower in night time, but also during night time transpiration occur, and gaseous excess always occur. So this is the wrong answer, because not only night time, it also daytime. One process occur during daytime and other not false. Simultaneously occur. Simultaneously occur. Both process cannot happen. So both process occur simultaneously, because respiration and transpiration both occur. Both process can happen together because the diffusion coefficient of water and CO2 is different. This is the correct option. Next question. Read the following four statement A to D. Both photophosphorylation and oxidative phosphorylation involves uphill transport. No, because the thylakoid, this is thylakoid lumen and this is ATP synthase. When the proton concentration is higher in thylakoid lumen, this proton release from ATP synthase and produce ATP phosphate. So here the downhill transport is called downhill transport. So downhill. In dicot stem, a new cambium originate from the Statement in flower. Stamens in flowers of glorious petunias are polyandrous. Polyandrous means the androecium attached with carpel petals. androecium attach here large and indefinite number of androecium present. So polyandrous means where large androecium is large and indefinite in number. This is called polyandrous. Symbiotic nitrogen fixation occur in free living. Not symbiotic means two organisms living together. Except for example, in nitrogen fixation, rhizobium present at the root nodule of legume plants. So here two organisms are living together. So here this option is incorrect and this option is incorrect, but here C is the correct option. So 2 is the right. Next question is the first carbon dioxide acceptor in C4 plant is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. That because the Rubisco enzyme has two effects, oxygenase and carboxylase. Oxygenase and carboxylase. If the concentration of CO2 is increased in atmosphere, then so oxygenase effect and so photorespiration. Photorespiration is not beneficial for plant because it utilizes energy, but carboxylase show Kelvin cycle. That it will be okay. So first enzyme, the surround the Rubisco enzyme, the PEP carboxylase present. Okay, this enzyme has only CO2 sensitivity, only CO2 affinity. So absorb only CO2 and the oxygen do not come around the Rubisco enzyme. Okay, this is called phosphoenol pyruvate. So for this reason they are photosynthetically more effective. But in case of photorespiration, C3 plants with transpiration, their energy is lost. Match the following: chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, chlorophyll and carotenoid, and their color. The first A is chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is bright or blue green in color. Chlorophyll B is yellow green in color. Xanthophyll is yellow in color, and the carotenoid is yellow orange in color. So here the pigment and their color. The chlorophyll A is yellow green, bright blue or blue green, and chlorophyll B is yellow green, xanthophyll is yellow, carotenoid is yellow orange. So A is the correct option. Next question. Column 2, select the correct answer from the option given. Column 1, column 2. Warburg effect. Warburg means the Rubisco enzyme has two effects, that is oxygenase and that is oxygenase and carboxylase. So during oxygenase effect they show photorespiration. So inhibitory effect of oxygen on photosynthesis. This is S is the correct option. Pasteur effect. Pasteur effect means inhibits the carbohydrate breakdown. Decline in the consumption of respiratory substrate due to a change from anaerobic respiration, anaerobic to aerobic. This is called Pasteur effect. What actually want to say? First, the pyruvate. When oxygen present, so produce acetyl CoA coenzyme A, and when CO2 is present, that is anaerobic condition, anaerobic condition, there alcohol and ethanol is produced. Then immersion effect. Immersion effect means when immersion use far red light, the rate of photosynthesis is this rate of photosynthesis rate, okay, light. And when use red light, the rate of photosynthesis is this one, red light. When they use red light and far red light simultaneously, then the rate of photosynthesis is. So here the enhancement of photosynthesis by subjecting chlorophyll to the effect to different wavelength of light, that is T is the correct option. Right, Sewell Wright says the gene frequency changes, that is called genetic drift. So here the correct option is Warburg effect, that is B. Pasteur effect, that is B is Pasteur effect is R, B is R, and C Emerson effect T, and D is the right effect, Sewell Wright effect, that is Q. Effect. So D is the correct one. Warburg effect means Rubinstein enzyme, bifunctional enzyme. Pasteur effect means during aerobic to anaerobic condition, the utilization of carbohydrate is decreased. Emerson effect means rate of photosynthesis during different wavelength of light. Wright effect means change in gene frequency. So this is the end of this video. If you like this video, please subscribe and share my channel with your friends. If any doubt or any comment are occur in your mind, then please comment in the below comment section. So thank you.